Well, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump campaigned in North Carolina on the final weekend before the 5th of November polls. It was the fourth day in a row that the candidates campaigned in the same state. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump campaigned in both North Carolina, a key swing state, and Virginia on Saturday, where he reinforced his message on economy and immigration. Trump, at his final rally of the day in North Carolina, told the voters that the 5th of November election will be Liberation Day in America.
The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. On November 5th, 2024, this will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation Day.
Later, addressing a rally in Virginia, Salem, Trump said he ran for office to rescue the economy from obliteration. Trump also addressed trans issues and vowed to protect parents' rights in Virginia rally. North Carolina backed Trump in 2020 by a narrow margin of less than 1.5 percentage points and elected a Democratic governor on the same day, giving hope to both the parties. Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris began her North Carolina rally by attacking Donald Trump, which she has increasingly done in the final days of the election campaigning. Harris, at a rally, zeroed in on women's reproductive rights, warning that Trump will ban abortion nationwide. Harris also pledged to lower health care costs and accused Donald Trump of wanting to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Earlier, campaigning in Atlanta, Harris said Trump would abuse his power if he returns to the White House.
Donald Trump is not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. He would restrict access to birth control. He would put IVF treatments at risk and, get this, force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Which still I can't believe they put in writing. And I think everyone here knows one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government shouldn't be telling her what to do. Not the government and not Donald Trump.
Now, U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris has surpassed Republican Donald Trump in a new poll in Iowa. The poll of 808 likely voters who were surveyed between 28th and 31st of October has Harris leading Trump by 47% to 44% in Iowa. That has been trending deeply Republican in recent years. It is within the 3.4% point margin of error, but it marked a turnaround from a September Iowa poll that had Trump with a 4-point lead. Trump won Iowa in his past two presidential campaigns by more than 9 percentage points in 2016 and 8 points in 2020. More than 75 million Americans have already cast ballots, according to the election lab at the University of Florida, in a sign of voter enthusiasm. Now, with just 2 days to go for the election day of U.S. presidential polls, Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Kamala Harris are campaigning hard in a last-minute bid to woo the voters by making stop and battleground states. Take a look at DD India correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh's report from Atlanta.
Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump campaigned in southern battleground states on Saturday, with Trump making stops in North Carolina and Virginia and Harris visiting Georgia and North Carolina. At a campaign stop in Gastonia, Trump stuck to his theme of immigration and border security, warning he would deport millions of immigrants if elected.
The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. On November 5th, 2024, this will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation.
North Carolina backed Trump in 2020 by a narrow margin of less than 1.5 percentage points and elected a Democratic governor on the same day, giving hope to both the parties. Canvassing for votes, Democratic presidential nominee Vice President Kamala Harris called on supporters in Atlanta to finally turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump. She focused over the issue of abortion and women's right to choose.
And ours is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do.
President Biden, a Democrat, won Georgia by just 0.3 percentage points in 2020. Meanwhile, in Virginia, Trump pledged to save the U.S. economy from obliteration. In North Carolina, Harris promised to give everyone a seat at the table. On Saturday, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump campaigned in the key southern states. While Kamala Harris raised the issue of abortion in a big way, Donald Trump focused on immigration, illegal immigration, and border security. It remains to be seen the stand of the voters on these critical issues and who they choose to be their next president. With camera person Jay Shankar, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Atlanta.